now let's watch and react to the trailer for Rebel Moon.
Do you know the story of the Princess Issa? In myth, she was called the Redeemer. It was said this child would stop the madness of war. That she was to usher in a new age of peace and compassion. I was given memories of a world I will never see. Loyalty to a king I cannot serve. And love for a child I could not save.
What do you think they want?
Everything.
I found her. Stargift.
Name Charles of War. I was taught that love is weakness. There is a difference between justice and revenge.
There is a price to pay for your defiance. Shh. One moment. I do love this part.
Hold on.
I don't want no trouble.
We're not here to bring any.
Are you ready? You and I both know fear. Let's show them that we're not afraid. Let's show them we're more than the shackles that bind us.
A king is a man, and a man can fail. But a myth is indestructible.
The time has come for all that you love. Protect each other and show them no mercy.
Who among you is willing to die for what you believe?
Okay, that was the first trailer for Rebel Moon. My thoughts on it: very artistic, very good looking. I saw a few epic scenes in there. I like the backstory for the main character. It looks like she was in the military and then she became disillusioned. Something happened with somebody that she loved, and it looks like she deserted or left. I don't think you could just leave the military because you stopped liking it. So I'm guessing that she's a deserter and that she's on the run or hiding or something like that. That's why the military person says, I found her or something like that, because there's probably like a bounty on her head for the desertion. This part right here. And that's where all of her fighting skills came from, because they trained her to fight. See, right there, right here. This movie is from Zack Snyder, and you can see a lot of his classic slow motion shots throughout this trailer. This looks pretty good. Zack Snyder, at one time, he wanted to make his own Star Wars movie, and but he wanted it to be rated R, and Lucasfilm. This was like, I guess this was right before The Force Awakens, like between when Disney got it and before Force Awakens came out, I guess, or I might be off with my timing, but he went to them and said, I'd like to make a Star Wars film, but he wanted his film to be rated R. They said no, they're going to go a different way or something like that. So he took his ideas, some of the ideas that he had for that, and he basically made his own Star Wars film. I don't think you're going to be hearing anything about the Force or anything like that in this film. I'm guessing that he took the nuggets of the story that he wanted to do. He took out anything that could get him in trouble with Lucasfilm. But you do see laser swords in this film. You do see laser weapons in this film, but you're not going to hear anything about the Force or lightsabers or anything like that, because he doesn't want to get anything anywhere near their IP. So it looks completely divergent from that, even though you can still see little hints here and there in what could have been a Star Wars film, but what isn't. Like the opposing force in this film is a tyrannical organization or empire that smacks of the Empire in Star Wars. You got a small group of disillusioned renegades and rebels in coming together to eventually fight against that tyranny. So that's another Star Wars illusion in this film. This film looks way more grandiose, though. You're seeing more of the actual tyranny that is only hinted at in Star Wars. You're actually on the ground to actually see that. In the Star Wars series, the TV series, you see more of that tyranny on the ground, but you don't see that in the films. And in this film, you're actually seeing that. It looks like they're actually taking the time to show that, which is great, because you get to see why this tyrannical empire, why they are bad, not just somebody saying that they're bad and fighting against them. You actually get to see the reasons why. Hopefully, because of that, the viewer invests more emotionally in the storyline. That could be a repercussion of that investment by the screenwriter and putting that in the screenplay, and by the director putting that in the film. But we're going to have to wait and see. I did not know that this film was going to be, or that this was going to be a two-parter. Well, I'm guessing that Snyder had so many ideas that he could not put it all into one film. So he went to Netflix. Said, I have the idea for a two-parter. They said, great. With his track record, his name, and their ability to raise money for filmmakers, I guess it looks like it was a match made in heaven, because you can see a lot of money on screen here. This is what Amazon was hoping for with their first season of their Lord of the Rings series. Their Lord of the Rings series does not look like it holds a candle to this. This Rebel Moon, to me, it doesn't look great from what I'm seeing, because there's so much being thrown at you. It looks good, but maybe good, but maybe good is good enough right now because Disney Star Wars is at best lackluster. I just watched Ahsoka and it was boring, and the sword fight in the first episode was weak. The one at the end I'm talking about, because they would, you know what, this is not the forum for that, so I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop and just say that I'm looking forward to Rebel Moon. I will watch the first one with an open mind. The first movie with an open mind, and if it's good, I'll watch the second part. You know, I don't have time for bad sci-fi and bad movies or anything like that anymore. I just stopped watching it. Like, if I see a movie and it's bad, I'll stop halfway through it. I'll never know what happened, and I'll just stop and I'll just move on to something else because I don't have the time. I'm not going to sit there for 2 hours to watch a bad movie when in the first hour everything was corny or lackluster or whatever, so I just stop it. So if this happens to be something like that, then I'll just stop halfway and then watch something else or go do something else. I will not finish it. Even if I'm an hour and a half into this film, I will stop. So that's just me. But what do you think?